I want Biafra land to be calm and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people, not to kill them.
Yes.
We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. I will continue to do so until we get victory.
Thank you for joining in. I welcome you to this live broadcast today, the 4th of October 2022. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of October, and of course, it is the day the High Court in Umuahia is hearing the case of our leader's extraordinary rendition. We expect, we don't expect anything from the zoo courts, but we're looking forward to hearing the updates from that court. I heard that they have done what they have done, and we're going to be hearing the updates from the lawyers. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and today is the second day of studying and looking at the topic, the horror of the Asaba massacre and video evidence of what we are going to be analyzing. And I also want to appreciate you wherever you are for joining. This is BIAFRA Global Network, where we try to teach and make sure that we give the right information to our people based on the desire we have for freedom. We are tired of remaining in the situation that we have found ourselves, that is caused by our laxity, redundancy, and sabotage. We are set to get out and to see that we do the right thing and get the right results at the right time. I want to welcome you to this broadcast today. As I said, today is the 4th of October, Tuesday, 4th of October 2022. It is a day that we are looking up to Friday. One of the days we're looking up to Friday to see that we carry out the total lockdown of Biafra land because of the gruesome murder of our people in Asaba in 1967. Asaba actually represents. Now, I want you to understand something before I go on with the video exposition, as I play the video, so that you can listen and watch and know what happened to your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your loved ones, and the people that of Biafra. You know what we suffered, what our people went through, and you know that we have to take drastic measures to deal with the situation. I want you to understand that Biafra is Biafra, no matter the aspect of the land that was attacked. Asaba is Biafra. So when they try to make you think that Asaba is a particular community or a place that is located in Delta States, make them understand that we don't recognize anything like Delta State or Anambra State or Enugu State or Ebonyi State or any of those states in Biafra land. In Biafra, we are Biafrans. We are one. So whatever happens in Asaba has happened in Onitsha. Whatever happens in Asaba has happened in Owerri. Whatever happens in Owerri has happened everywhere in Biafra. So whatever happens in Asaba happened to Biafra. And that is what we have come to establish today. That is why we have decided that there will be total lockdown. We are going to enforce it. We know they want to use it against us by trying to cause one death or the other somewhere. But we're going to make sure that none of our people are dead, nobody is killed. But we're going to enforce it. Make sure that we make our people stay at home. Our people have decided on their own also to enforce it. So we don't have a problem because our people are determined for this freedom. Our people are very determined for freedom. And so we are going to do everything we can to make sure that we gain our freedom. I also want you to understand that the cause of Biafra and the fight for freedom is not something you come and politicize. Yesterday on the joint broadcast, we're analyzing the kind of evil that people went through, especially in the Asaba massacre. We played the video, and we still saw some people just sending in messages because of their bitterness and their evil, because of their jealousy, sending messages not concerning what we're showing, that concerns all of us. Because the video we were showing yesterday in the joint broadcast actually affects every one of us. It tells us of the killing and everything that was going on, that went on with our people in Asaba, which is a representation of everything that went on with us and the things that went on wrong and the killings of our people. And yet some people have the temerity to start typing messages, spitting out their envy and shame on the people who were presenting this. The media team came out all out. We came out together and we tried to express these things. But yet we saw some Biafrans are resolved in determined to actually show that they actually hate themselves. And I laid a curse on them. I said they're not going to survive it. If they don't change their ways, they're not going to see Biafra. Because we have gone are the days when we just want to make people feel good, with their behaviors and all of that. We are set for our freedom. All we want is freedom. We're not concerned about anything that has to do with Nigeria. We're not interested. We are not interested. We are interested in freedom. And so when you see us come all out this way and doing what we're doing it because we are concerned about freedom. That is our concern. So we want to tell those people who have decided to make themselves saboteurs and those who have decided to make themselves a stooge, trying to fight what is to be. You are going to kill yourself. You're going to be eliminated. You're going to go down because you cannot fight what is meant to be and think you can go scot-free. You will be dealt with. You'll be crushed by it. So Biafra freedom is going to crush so many people, and Biafra freedom is going to elevate so many people. That is the truth, the plain truth we have to make clear to you today. So today, we are going to be looking at the Asaba massacre, but we're going to be using a video that portrays the totality of the war. Remember, the reason why they went to Asaba to kill is because the Fulani and their caliphate actually don't forgive. They believe in revenge. So when Chukuma Zogo carried out the coup of January 15th, 1966, and some of their people were killed. The prime minister was killed, and some of the Northerners were killed. They saw it. I think he and Emmanuel, Emmanuel actually carried out that coup. When they carried out that coup, many of the Northerners were killed, especially those corrupt politicians from the North, because they were the ones dominating the government then. But it was not actually a tribal coup. It was a coup to eliminate those who were in control at that point in time, and at the same time to install a government, a system that will help to get things done. And basically, of course, they knew that the British actually handed over power to the people who were not competent and were not qualified for it. And because they were not competent and qualified for it, they began to misuse power. They began to misconceive. They misconceived the whole thing and began to, misappropriate the system, and all of that. That was where the beginning of our problems began. The corruption was so immense, because Britain actually instilled that concept of corruption. We're going to hear it in this video. You're going to hear every detail in this video. I'm going to explain it further in this video as I play the video. But I want you to understand something critically here. The reason why they now carried out that massacre, because Chukuma Zogo comes from Asaba, from that area. They attacked that place just to revenge, in spite of the fact that they carried after the coup, they also carried out another coup in revenge to kill Chukuma Zogo and also other people who plotted the coup in July, in 1960, July in 1960. They killed them. They were not satisfied. They still wanted to. That tells you the in-depth evil, the in-depth hatred they have for the Igbos or for the Biafrans. Please remember, when I tell you of the Igbos, I'm talking about the Biafrans. When I say Igbos, I'm talking about Biafrans, because we are all Igbos. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, you have to just believe it and know and accept the truth, because it is the truth that sets free. Biafra is our religion, and so thank you so much, Uzamaka Nicholas. Thank you for joining. And Biafra is our religion, yes, and our soul. That is it. That is why we're doing what we're doing. That is why we're determined to get the results we're going to get, and that is why we're pushing hard. We are not joking. We are serious. We are doing it with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, because it's a religion. and it is in our soul. It is planted in our soul, given out unto us by Chukwu Okike Abiama, the God of heaven and earth. Elohim, who created the heavens and the earth. He has mandated us to bring back the nation of peace, that will restore peace to the people of color in the world. The nation that will restore peace in Africa, that will restore the dignity of Africa, that will restore the might of Africa, that will restore that is what we are pursuing. And everybody must understand that your role is important. Listening to instructions, doing what you have to do, and carrying out your role in the way you should carry them. Very, very important and crucial. So those of them who have decided to make themselves hate and enemies of themselves, well, you're going to be crushed by this if you don't change. You're going to be crushed. We're not missing words anymore. We're handling you spiritually and physically. You're going to be crushed and you will not see Biafra. So you better change your ways and do the right thing and support the right cause, rather than following people sheepishly and betraying your own cause and betraying your own freedom because you want to get other people down. Because you want to get somebody down, you want to hate yourself to the point where you fight what is supposed to free you. This is very, very ridiculous and ludicrous. It is so disheartening that we have so many people in our midst that are so heartless to themselves, so heartless to the generation to come, so heartless to the cause of their lives and their freedom and their purpose in life. They just want to live their lives in fertility, live their lives in servitude and in slavery, and constituting nuisance to every other person. If you don't want to go into the kingdom, leave the way and let other people go into the kingdom. It's as simple as that. Don't come and constitute nuisance in the cause of our freedom. We are serious. We're not joking. We're not jokers. We didn't come to joke. We came for freedom. And everybody must follow that line and toe the line of freedom. That is what we've come to do. So this video I'm going to be playing right now is going to expose so many things. I want you to understand, as I said initially, whatever happens in Asaba happened to Biafra. Whatever happened in Owerri happened to Biafra. Whatever happens in Onitsha happened to Biafra. Whatever happened in Akwa Ibom happened to Biafra. Whatever happened to Igbocha happened to Biafra. Whatever happened to Ijo happened to Biafra. Whatever happened to any territory or any community in Biafra land is and happened to Biafra. So that is why we are using the template of the Asaba massacre as a means of locking down Biafra land in remembrance of our heroes, those who died all through the war. Because the war, both pre-war and post-war, people have died in that cause. That is why we are sitting down. We are locking down Biafra land on the Friday 7th of October 2022. We are locking down Biafra land, and you must tell your people, you must tell your brothers, your sisters, your friends, and well-wishers. You must tell everybody, whether they love it or not, whether they love Simon Ekpa or not, whether they love the autopilot mood or not, whether they love Mazi Nnamdi or not. Because if they don't love Simon Ekpa and the autopilot mood, they don't love Mazi Nnamdi because he's the one who instituted it. So anybody who is working against this is actually working against the system. So we are telling you right now that we are locking down Biafra land, because we will have to honor those who have sacrificed their lives and become heroes, and some of them are tired for this cause. We have to sacrifice things painful to us to gain our freedom. Even if we decide to go on a 2 weeks lockdown, people must bear it. You must understand the place of sacrifice for your freedom. Sacrifice is fundamental. Sacrifice cannot be underestimated. You cannot underestimate sacrifice. It's so painful that when you talk about lockdown and some stuff, some people come up with narrative of how will we eat, how will we do this. For God's sake, are you going to tell those who are running in Ukraine, running all over, looking for where to sleep and looking for where to go, where to even sleep or where to even get food to eat? Are you going to tell them that what are you going to tell them? But because there's war in their country, there's war in their territory, they are fighting back. They have to fight back. Are you going to tell them because they have to live good lives and eat food, so they should allow Russia to take over their land? You're not going to tell them that. That's the same thing we're talking about. Our people must understand the place of sacrifice. Sacrifice is fundamental to what we're doing. And that is why it is called the religion of our people, Biafra. Religion doesn't mean that we have abandoned God. Religion, because God instituted Biafra, so it becomes our religion as a means of worship to God. And our soul is involved. And that is why we're doing what we're doing. And I want to tell you, please, Biafrans, commit yourself spiritually and physically to this cause. Pray hard, watch your back, watch the back of your people, so that we can get this thing together and so that we can get results. I want to play this video so that you can see what I'm about to say. You can watch it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Maureen Hings, for joining. I've been expecting to see your message. So thank you. So let's watch this.
That something around 1 million people perished.
I'm going to play this to where we stopped yesterday.
Of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
I want you to understand that there are three nations that actually supervise this. Those of you who say Russia is this, Russia is that. Russia, Nigeria, and the British. British being the superintending authority in this context of subjugation and fight. Britain, Russia, and using the Nigeria authority as proxy to killing our people. Remember, Asaba killing is part of this killing. So we are looking at the whole face of the killings using the template or the platform of Asaba Massacre as a means of talking about this.
I don't know what one does call it, but it was pretty close to genocide.
Pretty close to genocide, that's what he said, but it is genocide, we all know that. So listen to this.
It was the first of the genocidal wars that a great power got as close to as Britain got to the war in Biafra.
And that was totally wrong.
And that was wrong.
See it, he said it was wrong. It was a genocidal war, the first of its kind. Look at our people. Look at what our people went through. Now listen, just watch please. Art Creativa Verd, you're welcome to this podcast. Thank you so much.
Over 1 million Igbos, Biafrans, all British Commonwealth citizens.
Now I want to establish this fact. You saw what they posted. They said that over 1 million, of course we know it's more than 1 million anyways, over 1 million Igbos, Biafrans, which means they recognize us, they know our history, and they know that no matter where you are from in that region, you are an Igbo. Don't see Igbo as a language. Igbo is a race. You have to understand that the Igbo is a race. It is not a language. So even if you are speaking Efik or whatever you are speaking, as much as you are from that race, I can decide to compose a language for myself now in my family and begin to speak, and before you know it, all our generation begin to speak it. But that doesn't change me from the race as an Igbo. So you have to understand this. These people know fundamentally our origin. They know where we are from. They know our source. And they call us Igbos. And yet our people are fighting themselves to agree to the term or to agree to the fact that they are Igbos. Why should you fight yourself against who you are? Why would you fight yourself? Being an Igbo doesn't make you an Igbo speaking person. Or let's say somebody who speaks that language you call Igbo. Of course, there's a language called Igbo. There's a language called Ijo. There's a language called this. But all of these are from the source of the race called the Igbos. So you have to understand that you are an Igbo as much as you speak Efik, as much as you speak Ijo, as much as you speak Calabar, as much as you speak Shakiri, as much as you speak whatever you speak, you are from that foundational race that is called the Igbo. So you see them here mention it, that you are Igbo, Biafra. Let's listen.
Died in the Nigeria Biafra civil war. Today, more than 30 years later, questions remain. Was it genocide? Was it backed by the British government,
Look at what they did
willingly or unwillingly?
Look at this man's stomach. Look at what they did to our people. Listen to this man. Listen to this man, what he's going to say in this context. Just listen to him carefully.
If you have part of the population was say that the whole population has been wiped out and murdered without any protection on these grounds, ethnic or religious or economic grounds, and so you have genocide.
So he actually defined genocide as allowing mass killings through by religion, ethnic coronation, by by economic attack or whatever, economic ways, just like what they did to Biafra. They instituted economic blockade and instituted land, sea, air blockade, that nothing comes in. They want to starve the people to death. They want the nation of Biafra to implode. They actually carried out these things because they wanted to eliminate Britain. Actually had in mind to eliminate Biafrans. They wanted to wipe the nation Biafra out of context. Now I'm going to reveal something to you from this video. Just keep watching and listening, because there's something I want to say that I wanted to say now. But let me say, I think there's a part of this video which will make me explain it better to you, so that you can understand it. Please listen to this quite all right and see, watch the actions and everything that's going on here, and know what is happening to what happened to our people. Starving children of Biafra war.
The Nigeria-Biafra Civil War was also the first media famine. For the first time, we saw starving children in newspapers.
It was the first media famine. For the first time in the world, we saw starving children on newspapers all over the world. Starving, that's the message was so consistent. The first time media famine, as because of what they did to Biafra. It was so gruesome, it was so bad, it was so evil that it had to become the first media famine, where pictures of starving children and all of that was spreading all over the nations of the world, where it was being circulated all over the nations of the world. Yet Britain was hardened, just like Pharaoh. God would destroy them. Accept the change. God would destroy them. Because just like Pharaoh hardened his heart and caused the death of people, killed the God's people, just like they killed God's people here, God would not look down and look down on this. God will definitely revenge. So it is not me saying that God will definitely deal with them. It is what God is going to do, because God has already instituted it. For the fact that they went to this extent to try to annihilate Biafrans and to exterminate us from the face of the earth, God will deal with them. So they would definitely face the consequences. Now listen to the words of this man. Of course, that man said it's the first famine, media famine, in the world, and all of that became the first media famine. Now listen to Lord Carrington, what he said, that he is the former foreign secretary, okay, the ex-foreign secretary and ex-secretary general of NATO. Now listen to what he's going to say here, so you can understand some things.
In magazines and on television.
Listen to him, what he said clearly.
Because it was very much the sort of headline news in the papers here for a long time. Opinion was going to be divided as between those who felt that the Igbos had a case and that...
Now you see it again, what he mentioned here, he said the Igbos, he's talking about the Biafrans. So they know our history, they know our source. So all these arguments that you are always making to divide us, they are dividing you and making you feel, using the name states to divide you, to make you fight yourself so that you don't face the reality of who you are. You better begin to acknowledge it, because the best thing that can happen to you is to acknowledge the fact of who you are. Because if you don't acknowledge the fact of who you are, then you can never fit in any other system. If you like go to America, if you like go to Britain, if you like go to US, if you like go to any nation, you can never be in the fabric. You can never fit in the fabric of that country. You know why? You are not part of it. You can only walk in that dimension as a foreigner. You, no matter if you like get the whole papers, you are not from that source. There are some things that will not even come to you because you are not fundamentally that. In fact, you cannot enjoy the benefit of natural satisfaction as a human being without identifying with your source. So you must understand that you are Igbo. So no matter the coronation, the kind of designs, the divide rule, they say these ones are Akwa Ibom, these ones are Calabar, Cross River, these ones are Rivers, these ones are Bayelsa, this one. We are all from the same source. We are Igbos. And in other words, we are Biafrans. So when you hear Igbos, we are talking about Biafrans. So don't say, hey, the Igbos want to dominate you. How can you dominate yourself? You can't dominate yourself because you are Igbo. You might say that, of course, Igbo has a fundamental language, which is the Igbo language. Then we have other languages, which are, indigenous to, or special to those communities and those other, communities in the Biafra territory. But all of them are Igbos by origin, by racial identification. They are Igbos. So that's what he said. So he said, Igbos. He said it was so bad because this thing dominated the headlines all over the world, newspapers all over the world. That is what this ex-foreign minister is saying. He now said that the idea was divided, the concept was divided, the people were divided along two lines. The first, who believed that Biafrans were right, they were fighting for the just cause, and what they were doing was right. And then the second, you're going to hear him say the second part of
Nigeria was badly governed, and that it was time something happened, and that the Igbos were good people who deserved to be. And
he still mentioned the Igbos. Remember, talking about Biafra. So when these people, how can foreigners know who you are and you are fighting who you are? This is one of the orientation we must admit to in the course of knowing and identifying who. The reason why so many things are bad amongst us is because we have not been able to acknowledge or redirect our minds to accept who we are. So because we don't accept who we are, we fight who we are for what is not ours. That is why you see somebody will come all out and fight for election under the auspices of Nigeria that he is not. Because we have not been able to face the fact of who we are. By the time you identify yourself as an Igbo first, then you know that as being an Igbo, you are an Ijaw who is a Biafran. As being an Igbo, you are an Efik person who is a Biafran. As being an Igbo, you are a Shekiri person who is a Biafran. As being an Igbo, you are an Akwa Ibom person who is a Biafran. As being an Igbo, you are a Calabar person who is Biafran. As being an Igbo, you are a Bayelsa person who is Biafran. You begin to streamline it to your origin, your source, being an Igbo. So now that you have identified that you are Igbo, you begin to have a passionate, emotional attachment to your foundation and who you are. Now let me give an example, because sometimes we need to give some examples for us to understand. In fact, when I was growing up, I grew up in a family where we because most of our people are abroad, so most of my family members are abroad. So we had this mentality of abroad, and it made me despise where. In fact, I didn't want to identify with where I was from. Where I'm from, sorry, not where I was from. Where I'm from. I just felt that I should be an American, rather than being, a Biafran. I just felt that I should be an American. So everything I did, the culture, everything, I was imbibing the culture of the foreign. I didn't even know my culture. I didn't even know the Biafra culture. I didn't even know much of the things that go on in Biafra. Do you know I was like that until I finished my secondary school? And when I finished my secondary school, I was about to travel and all of that. I was doing everything in the context of saying that I am not a Biafran. I am not an Igbo. It was not even a Biafran then. I was saying I was not an Igbo. I don't like to be called an Igbo, because I just felt they are too local, the way the people behave, and because of the mentality of the family where you come from. Some people are evil, some people are very diabolic. They want to attack you, they want to kill you, they don't want your progress. So those kind of mindset I grew up with, knowing that some family members don't want our progress, they don't want us to grow, they don't want us to make anything in life. It's made me now categorize where I'm from and gave a negative conclusion of where I'm from. So I just concluded, in my own mind, in my own small mind, in my own stupid understanding, that being an Igbo means that you are degenerate. You are a degenerate. You have brought yourself to the lowest capacity of anything in life. But recognizing yourself as an American is good. It was stupidity in the highest order. At a point when I started coming to understand some basic facts about life, and the first time I decided to travel to my place, when I went there, I looked at everything. I said, but you were born here. You can't say you are not from here. This is where your parents are from. This is where your grandfather is from. This is where your great-grandfather is from. This is where your source is. You cannot deny your source. You cannot deny that you are from this place. So the best thing you can do is to change the family if you think the family is not right. So you see, by getting the first orientation that I am a Biafran, I am an Igbo, it gave me a notion of what I need to do to change the narrative I don't like about my community. That is what we should understand. By the time you identify with your foundation, you begin to now think along the line of doing something to better foundation. And then if you begin to along that line also, you begin to identify the faults that are in your foundation. So what you need to do now is begin to think along the line of being the one who is going to change the narrative. Because if God lays it in your heart to change the narrative, it simply means that God actually believes in you that you can change the narrative. Just like what we are doing right now, we're fighting for Biafra, we are coming all out. Because God has laid it in our heart, God gives us the enablement. For the fact that it is in my heart to be part of those who's going to bring about the manifestation of Biafra simply means that God has actually designed me for that cause. You know what God does? Whenever God wants to use you for a particular thing, He lays it in your heart. That is why your heart must be very, very functional. You must understand the dictates and the values and the definition of your heart makeup, your mental makeup, your mind, and plunge yourself into the realm of your mind to discover who you are so that you can function in that light. First, I was not seeing the perspective. How can I go to change America? Is it possible? Even if I think that I am an American from now till tomorrow and I want to be an American by force, there's nothing I can do to change the nation to affect America. You know why? I am not theirs. I can only go there and work and serve them as a slave because I'm a foreigner. Whenever you find yourself in a community where you are not a foundational member, you are a foreigner. And anything you do at that place, all of us who are abroad, working in America, working in Asia, working in Europe, working everywhere, we are only slaves. You are working and growing the economy. You are not part of them. If you like, have the green paper. If you like, have all the documents. You are a slave to them because you are not from them. That is the truth. I have to tell us the truth here. Sorry, I have to go back this part of this because it's now bringing in some stuff for me to talk about, because along this line of this lesson, we have to learn so much. I'll make sure we don't exceed 1 hour in this. If it has to take us to go to part 3, we're going to do part 3, and we're going to learn so many things because we need to begin to tell ourselves the truth. And Chiem Nwokoro, good afternoon, watching it. God, good to see you online this afternoon. May Elohim continue to replenish you with more wisdom and strength to go on until Biafra is restored and beyond that. He said, I say thank you, Nwokoro. Thank you so much for that prayer, and I'm delighted to get this prayer from you. Thank you so much for the grace, for the prayer, and the grace that is released based on your prayer. Thank you so much. So, the earlier you identify your source as a Biafran, as an Igbo, which is the race that you are. You first became an Igbo before you became a Biafran. Whether you have, no matter where you are from in Biafra land, you first look at this man. He said, the Igbos, they know who we are. They know your source. The reason why they are treating you the way they are treating you is because they know your source. So they know how to attack your source. They want to attack your source. Now, let me tell you something. Do you know why they were able to begin to use the divide and rule concept to divide us? They did that. They were able to call you Delta, call you Rivers, call you Imo, call you Asaba, Delta, you Edo, call you Kogi, call you Benue, call you all of these, put all of us in different places and divided us in states because they know we have one fundamental source. We are Igbos. So to make us think that we are not the same, they needed to create states and divide us along those lines of their state creation. By dividing us along the line of their state creation, we become restricted in our minds. It is a psychological warfare. They apply the concept of psychological warfare to distort the information that we get from our source, from our lineage, from our family, from our fathers. They distort it by dividing us in that state, manipulation and strategy. And then, so when you see yourself in Delta, you say you are not part of Anambra. When you see yourself in Anambra, you say you are not part of Imo. When you see yourself in Imo, you say you are not part of Abia. When you see yourself in Abia, you say you are not part of Bayelsa. When you see yourself in Bayelsa, you say you are not part of Rivers. When you see yourself in Rivers, you say you're not part of Akwa Ibom. When you see yourself in Akwa Ibom, you say you're not part of Calabar. When you see yourself in Calabar, you say you're not part. You are just, that warfare, psychological warfare, was meant to reduce your mental faculty to function in full capacity so that you can now begin to streamline your actions based on the knowledge you know about yourself. So to stop you from working in the knowledge you know about yourself, all they needed to do is to work on your mind by dividing you in states, so that as a state now you begin to look at yourself. Oh, we are Anambra, we are not Imo, so we have to do our thing. Oh, it's affecting Imo people, it's not affecting us in Anambra. You begin to see yourself different from the other. You know why? They understand that if you know you are an Igbo, whether you are an Efik, Ijo, or whatever you are, if you know you are an Igbo, you will stand to uphold the cause of Igbo, the Igbo race. And so everything you will do will be under the interest and the benefits you have in mind for Igbo. But because they know that if they divide you now, you begin to think yourself as Ijaw, not Igbo, then you begin to say, okay, as long as I am Ijaw, Igbos are trying to behave as if they are more superior. Whereas you are still Igbo. So you are telling yourself now that you are more superior than yourself. So you fight yourself and destroy yourself. That is why you see people like this man in the creek, would join forces with the enemies. These British forces and the Caliphate, to design an Inzama group with that Muhammad Abbas abroad. All of them coming together to design a fighting unit to fight themselves. Everything they are doing is to fight themselves. So doesn't it surprise you? You begin to wonder, why do these people reason like this? Why do they say they are not Igbos? Why would Wike say he's not Igbo? You see, Wike, those actions he took because he had already told himself the lie. He told himself he's not Igbo. When you tell yourself the lie, you are going to design a template that would actually propagate the lie. And everything that will happen along the line of propagating a lie will be disastrous. That is what happened in the case of Wike. He started killing Igbos. He started killing his people because he has told himself he's not Igbo. So what plans he could only make, you cannot make plans against that is contrary to what you have in mind. As much as you tell yourself you're not Igbo, the plans you're going to make is going to work against the Igbos, and which is going to work against you. So he actually was killing them, but he was also killing himself because he's going to face the music. He's going to dance the music very well. He's going to face it very well. We're not going to allow him go scot-free. Whenever you tell yourself a lie, you will design a template that will propagate the lie 100-fold. And as you keep propagating the lie, you get worse on the pattern of execution of lies. And in the end, you consume yourself because you are going to end up eliminating, destroying your own source and your means to the source. That is what Wiki has done. That is what Hope Uzo, whatever they call him, Uzo, anything, has done. That is what Dave Umahi and co have done. They have actually told themselves lies. Some of them tell themselves, we are Ebonyi, we're not IPO, we're not Biafrans. So they indirectly they are saying they are not Igbos, because if you say you're not a Biafran, you are saying you're not an Igbo person. You're not Igbo, because Biafra is the name of the race, the name of Igbos. Biafra is the national name of Igbos. Biafra is the name of a nationality of people. Biafra is the national image of the Igbo race. So whether you are Ijaw, whether you are whoever, you are an Igbo who is identified nationally as a Biafran. So you must understand this critical knowledge and facts. The moment I realized that when I got to my place, I think it was the first time I was traveling. I used to go there, I schooled, of course. I went to Nekede, there when I went to the east to do some OND before I went, came back to Lagos to do, when I was in Nekede, that was when I was frequenting, because it's close to my place. So I was frequenting the village, I was just going there. That was when I was beginning to understand, go there I've got to meet with people. Somehow I began to have a perspective, because perspective to the people, and because I began to love some of my people, I began to see some people, very good people. I already had a very wrong notion about everybody because of what I experienced when I was growing up, because we had so many attacks from some of our uncles and all of that who were against us, against our family progress, fighting our wealth, fighting everything that we stood for. So I had the perspective that Igbos are evil. But when I went there and went to my family, I began to meet sweet people, lovely people. My perception began to change. And it now went to full force to identify my nation in 2014. It's not long ago. I decided to say no. When I went there, I now say, okay, this is wrong here. This is my place. This is my place. I can't deny it. I'm from this community. I'm an Igbo person. I'm from Imo. So now that I know where I'm from and I know who I am, then what do I do? Now I have come to identify, because I've accepted that fact of who I am. Then I started looking at it. Okay, so but these are the problems in my place. These are my people. And these are the problems they have. Some of them are evil, some of them are envious, some of them are good, some of them are nice, some of them are wonderful. I began to recognize all of these facts. So as soon as I recognize all of these facts, I now said to myself, okay, what you need to do when you recognize a problem is to solve the problem. That is what happens when you find yourself that you begin to discover a problem in life. Just so that God has put something in you to discover, to solve the problem. God does not make you discover a problem just to wave it. No. That is why you discover that when God makes you or opens your eyes to see a problem, He puts in you the grace to identify what is inside of you that can solve that problem. Because every one of us came factory fitted from heaven, or by God's design, or from eternity. We came factory fitted with potentials that will solve problems. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Princess Amaka. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Amen. Thank you so much. Now, I want you to understand this. Dear friends, we need to learn some things. When you were created, you came factory fitted with the potentials that will help you solve problems. So as you grow up, you will begin to identify the problems. To identify the problems, you must be sensitive to the things happening around you. You must be sensitive to the things. You don't solve a problem by calling for election. It's not, you're not solving any problem. But you solve a problem by you solve the problem by calling for referendum. So, for the fact that I now understand that I solve a problem by calling for referendum, I begin to identify what is inside of me that can help me to support the cause of referendum. This broadcasting I'm doing now is one of the things I'm doing. Now, this broadcasting I'm doing now uses a potential within me. I have the potential of speaking, the potential of communicating, the potential of teaching, the potential of analyzing and researching and doing so many things to benefit people. So now I'm using that potential as a means, streaming it or streamlining it to the cause of freedom for our people. That is what we are saying. When you identify your source and you identify what is wrong and where you are from, the first thing that happens is that you begin to look at what is wrong and what is right in that thing you have identified. Now I have come to understand that my source is important. That's what I'm telling you. Now you recognize that your source is important. You are Igbo. So even if you are Ijo, you are Igbo. Even if you are Isoko, you are Igbo. Wherever you are from, you are Igbo. So now that you have identified that you are Igbo, the next thing you do now is, what is the problem amongst my people? What is our problem? Why are we not able to maximize our potential as a nation? Why are we not able to do the things we need to do as a people? Then I begin to see the problems. The problem now is that we have been subjugated. It has affected our minds psychologically. We have been under mental slavery mentality. We have been under this kind of situation. So what do I now have to do? Now, okay, that means that what we need is freedom, because when we are free, we begin to get away through orientation. We begin to get away from the concept of the mental slavery. We begin to get away from the concept of the subjugation in the mind and the suppression and everything that we're going through. We begin to get away from it. Then as soon as we begin to do that, then that means we're going to get truly free, and then we begin to exude our potentials rightly to develop our country. That means the things that we have discovered that are the problems, we now get, when we are free, we begin to use what we have that God has given to us to identify these problems of the problems we have, and then we begin to use those things inside of us to actually carry out solutions to bring about our nation to where it's supposed to be. That is what we are talking about. That is why we are chasing for freedom. That is why we are sitting at home. We call for sit at home, because it will help us to know that we are fighting a cause. That is why we are calling for sit at home, because we know the person who championed this cause, Massacre, is locked up in the camp of the enemy. We have to understand the place of discovering who we are. This man said we are Igbos. I'll play it back so that you can hear it, so that we can listen to it from there. So that we can go on from there. He said we're Igbos. I want you to listen to him and know what he said. Listen to him again.
Opinion was greatly divided as between those who felt that the Igbos had a case and that Nigeria was bad.
Those who felt that the Igbos had a case. He didn't say the Biafrans had a case. He actually called us by our root name, the Igbos. He called us by our original name, the Igbos. He called us by our foundational names, the Igbos. Massacre explained what Igbos are. Our people must understand this. I wish our people's eyes would be open. Please, I want you to send this video to people to hear this very well. This man didn't call you Igbo in error. He didn't call you Igbo because he made a mistake. He said it, the analyzer or the voiceover also mentioned it. So many people keep mentioning it. All over the nations of the world, they call us Igbos. So that is why the Fulanis also called you Igbo. They call you Nyamiri or whatever they call you, that Nyamiri actually is qualifying the Igbos. That means you are together. You must understand your foundation. So let's go on. I think I've analyzed this so much, so let's go on.
Governed, and it was time something happened, and the Igbos were good people who deserved to be.
The Igbos were good people who deserved to fight for their freedom, who deserved to listen to him. What he said, one set of people believed that the Igbos had a good cause and they are good people and they deserve to be free, they deserve to fight for their interest and all of that. He was saying all of this about the Igbos. Because before you talk about appropriating a particular benefit to a people, you must come to understand who they are first. So that when you understand who they are, then you understand what they need that will be beneficial to them. So by the time we understand that we are Igbos, then we have understood who we are and what we are, our culture, our tradition, and what we want. It is when we identify this, now we now know what is good for us. You can't tell me to go and to be a part of an election of a country that is not existing, called Nigeria. It's not existent. So how do I elect in an empty space? How do you elect a leader for nothing? It's crazy. I want us to look at it. Think with me now. Imagine with me. Nigeria does not exist. It's a British creation. It's a business. But I know who I am. I am from a source. I am an Igbo. You are an Igbo. We recognize we are Igbos. We are not Nigerians. Mind you, Nigeria was first brought together and amalgamated in 1914 by the British. They created that contraption and they called it Nigeria. Now, you are now restricted in that concept of Nigeria. They use it as a means of blocking your mind from identifying or acknowledging where you are from. Now, but Nigeria existed about 100 and something years now, 106 years now or so, or 7 or 8 years, 108 years now, 1914 to now. But the Igbo nation have been existing for over 5,000 years. And the name Biafra has been adopted over 400 years before Nigeria was created. So how can I now come to identify myself with something that was created before my origin? After my origin. I can't be a product of what was created after my origin, because my origin supersedes and overrides what comes after me. So if I want to talk about me and who I am, I must go back to my source. I am an Igbo. I am not a Nigerian. I am an Igbo who is a Biafran as a nation, a citizen of Biafra as a nation. I am an Igbo, listen, let me say it again. I am an Igbo who is a citizen of Biafra as a nation. You are an Igbo who is a citizen of Biafra as a nation, whether you are Efik, whether you are Ijo, whether you are Cross River, or Akwa Ibom, or whatever you are, whether you are Anang, whether you are, whatever community you are from or tribe you are from, you are first an Igbo before being a Biafran as a nation or as a citizen of Biafra that is a nation. Because the name Biafra becomes our national image. The name Igbo becomes our identity and source. You must understand the two places. So even if you're Anang or wherever you are from, you must understand your source. Then you understand your nationality. Because your nationality is a product of your source. You are not Nigeria, because Nigeria was actually not a country. It was a business designed to favor the British, who actually valued your oil, valued everything that is yours, than valuing your life. You saw it in the joint broadcast we made. They said they were defending and protecting the oil installation. Every installation that has to do with what they are stealing from us, they were protecting it. So they were sending weapons to kill Biafrans, kill the Igbos. So this man is now saying now that the Igbos have a case. He didn't say the Biafrans, because he wants to identify us by source. He's indirectly passing the message to us. He's telling us, in case you don't know who you are an Igbo. So we actually divided you to conquer you. But now I'm telling you, he's the ex-foreign secretary of NATO. He's saying that you are Igbo, but they divided you to conquer you. So, but for you to be free and to recognize that you need to work in unity, you must first identify that all of you are one. That's what he's saying. So identifying that all of you are one gives you the ability let me bring it up. Mrs. Morin says something like that, that we are one. Let me put that up so that it will be ringing on our minds. We are one. So this man has made it and established it in our minds that we are one. Please, I want you to share this video. Let the people learn. Let the people know the source. Let them hear from this man. Let them hear the analysis I've given on the fact that we are one, so that we will begin to walk in knowledge of. Because if we don't understand, as I said it, if we don't deal with the issue of our source, we will keep raising up agenda that works against our source. Do you know why people are fighting to get one Nigeria? Because they don't have fundamental knowledge of their source. So they fight their source by adopting a strange concept and template for themselves. People fight Biafra because they have not been able to identify that they are Igbos. So because they have not been able to identify the fact that they're Igbos, they think that Biafra is for the Igbos. So for Igbos not to dominate us, we have to seek for one Nigeria. Some of them anyway, some of them are just there because they want to steal. Now, this kind of mindset comes because you have not been able to identify your source. You have not been able to tell yourself the truth. You have not been able to enter into the realm of knowledge. Now, remember, knowledge is a product of information. And information uses knowledge to actually give us understanding. And for understanding to be actually expressed, you need to practically engage knowledge, which now becomes an evidence of wisdom. You must understand all of these facts. So the first point of reference is to get to know who you are. And then as soon as you know who you are, you can now begin to understand what you can do to make who you are better. You can't make the nation of Igbo better if you don't identify the fact that you are Igbo. That is the problem most of us have. That is why you see that there is this internal wrangling. Some don't want to identify. They believe that they are not Igbos. The Igbos are dominating us. The reason of the issue of talking about dominance and all of that is because some people feel they are not Igbos. They have not been able to understand themselves. So if you know that you are Igbo and then you have to do things right, then the next thing you have to do now is to begin to make your nation right. Ijo as an Igbo. The Ijo people must be great. The Akwa Ibom people must be great. We begin to make our communities great for the sole reason of making the whole race Igbo great. That is where our problem lies. That is fundamentally where our problem lies. This issue that this man raised here, the issue of our identity, that is where our problem lies. That is where our reorientation must begin from. That is where we begin to teach our children the new things. That is when we'll begin to make our children understand, because now we have to begin to plant it in the minds of our children. Because some of us as adults have been misplaced and have lost it. And so sometimes it will take a long time, like I'm preaching right now, over and over and over, to begin to bring our people back to knowledge. But for you now that is listening, that is catching the revelation of what I'm saying, you must get to the place of beginning to teach the younger ones who are coming. That national anthem of the Nigeria system that they have used to saturate their minds, that corrupts their mind, and they grow up, they begin to carry out and protest in the name of Nigeria, ASU strike, all this kind of unnecessary fight, is because they have been told to be loyal to a system that is corrupt. I'm going to talk about this more in the next broadcast. I'm going to be bringing in the national anthem of the Nigeria system. I'm going to be talking about that, this evening. This evening, when I'm going to be analyzing the Fala Anukula Pokuti issue, I'm going to be talking about this by 6 p.m. Biafra time. It's going to be a 30-minute broadcast. 6 p.m. Biafra time, from 6 to 6:30. I'll be done with that broadcast, where I'll be analyzing Fela's song, Teacher No Teach Me Nonsense, and I'll be talking about the national anthem as a means of corrupting our education and our mind to be able to know who we should be loyal to. These are the fundamentals. Identifying our source. I'm going to stop this broadcast here. We're going to continue this broadcast tomorrow. All these things are in preparation to Friday lockdown, total lockdown of Biafra. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about it again. On Thursday, I'm going to be talking about it. On Friday morning, I'm going to come again. I'm going to give vivid information on this. And if it wants me to keep teaching further and to open our minds to so many things, if it has to go spill over to Saturday, Sunday, and all of that, we're going to have part 4, part 5, part 6. We're going to talk about it in different parts. because we want our people to begin to understand. I don't want to make this broadcast so long, but I know I've made so many points, at least talking about foundation and talking basically about our original source, where we are from. This is important and foundational to this class that we have, this study that we have done today in exposition. Please share this video on all your social media platforms. Share it on all platforms. Send it to your friends, to the people who need to hear this. Those who think they are not Igbos, send it to them. Let them hear this man speak. This man is telling you who you are, so that they will know that these people knew who we are. That is why they were able to strategize to actually disorganize us. Because they know that if they disorganize us by making us not to identify who we are going to actually fall for their trap. That's what they did. So we have to fight that and destroy that by reorientation. And this program, this teaching is part of the reorientation we're doing right now. So please share this video and send it to the people that need to know this. And all your social media platforms, tell them to also share to their friends and their loved ones and people they need to share to. Try to spread all over the nations of the world where Biafrans are and Igbos are, so that they will understand what we're doing. And at the same time, please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. Tell your people also to subscribe and your friends to subscribe. Tell those who you share to subscribe, so that they will get notification live when I'm live to talk. Every 1 p.m. and every 5 p.m. Biafra time, I always come up every day. But today I'm going to become up by 6 p.m. Biafra time to analyze the issue of Fela's music. Teacher, no teach me nonsense. That's music. All the while, all the problems, all the things we say you go do. This one is that when teacher, schoolboy and schoolgirl jam together, who be teacher? I go let you know who be teacher. When we be picking, papa, mama be teacher. When we dey for school, teacher be teacher. When we dey university, lecturer be teacher. When we start to work, government be teacher. Who be government teacher? Culture and tradition. Who be government teacher? Culture and tradition. This is the analysis I'm going to be doing this evening, so that you will understand the music, the philosophy of this man, expressing the totality of what Nigeria is and what you are, and explaining how you have to escape this trap called Nigeria. Thank you so much, Andy Drew. Powerful explanation. Kudos, bro. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for that compliment. I'm grateful. Please share this video and let your people hear this. Let people get this message. This is Biafra Global Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. Meet you this evening by 6 p.m. Biafra time. 30 minutes alone, and we'll be talking about the analysis on Fela's song. And then tomorrow afternoon by 1 p.m. again, we're going to come up for the part 3 of this analysis. Part 3 of the horror of the Asaba massacre, and of course, as a sign shore to the Biafra war. The war that was to create and to cause genocide, to kill Biafrans and destroy them. Thank you so much, Edith Nedu. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I am grateful. And please join me this evening by 6 p.m. Just 30 minutes and brief before Massacre will come up. Just 30 minutes. Thank you so much. This is Biafra Global Network. Share this and subscribe to this channel. My name is Kelechi Ambrose.